you asked me a question. You said, what do you want people to say about you when you pass? I'm not necessarily interested in what people will say about me when I pass. I would like my soul to look at the highlight reel of my form and be in awe by the fact that it will never experience this form again. But this form was an unbelievable experience and an unbelievable example of how we can be the best versions of ourselves in this form.
And in that moment, I learned one of the most valuable lessons of my life, and I have to share it with you. And that lesson is this. In your life, in any given moment, the strongest dream in that moment wins that moment. I am a very powerful dreamer. Yeah, I'm not lying. I dreamed tonight, this very night, as a 14-year-old boy, and I am living it as a 50-year-old man. My dreams are very strong.
First of all, Dr. Parham. Dr. Parham, now you are a regular on the show.
I feel like I'm co-owner of the show. I'm just kidding. Yes, I'm one of the regulars on the show.
So we have done episodes like Protecting Your Peace together. Yeah. That was probably one of my favorite episodes because I still go back and I pour into my own intellect based off of that episode. Mm-hmm. We first recorded that episode. I didn't even know what peace was. And the concept of internal peace flew right over my head.
Come on, different level.
Right. Yep. And now I feel like I'm embodying that now.
That's right. It's a lifestyle.
You said on that episode, or maybe a previous episode, you tell your clients they don't get what they want. They get what they believe.
Come on.
Hence the power of manifestation.
Yes.
Can you define the power of manifestation from a psychological level as if I'm a 5-year-old?
Okay. Well, when you think about the idea of manifestation, right? Mm-hmm. When you're manifesting something, that's simply taking something that is far reach and connecting to it in your psyche, right? Everything has a gravitational pull. Everything is magnetic. And so what you concentrate on magnifies. That could be good or bad. You can attract negative things to you. That's an art of manifestation too. You can attract positive things to you. That's an art of manifestation as well. Mm-hmm. So when you think about manifestation, that's taking something and operating as if you already have it. And you're connecting to it. You're taking the gravitational magnetic pull and you're pulling it closer to you until it manifests. When we think about manifestation, it's the idea that I'm becoming one with said object, said opportunity, said person. You're becoming one with it and you're allowing it to manifest to become one with me. And so when I think about many of us out here manifest things and we don't even know that we're doing it. Mm-hmm. We're doing it subconsciously. Most of the time, most people know how to manifest negative things very well. Because it's the replay. It's a replay. Think about it. If you're replaying a thing over and over and over, and it's taking a mental landscape, next thing you know, you can taste it. I've had clients sit on my couch and we have a conversation and I'll tell them what happened to you. And they can go and tell me everything that happened to them. The smell of the room, the scent of said accuser. They can tell me what they had on. They can tell me the emotion. So much so, it's literally as if it happened right in the spot of the moment. Well, they manifest it. They become one with the thing that they're talking about. Why can't we do that with positive things too? It's an art.
I want you to let me know if I'm using this analogy correctly. If the power of manifestation be the understanding that your mind is essentially a time machine. If you go into the future with a dream, you can come back into the present after programming your subconscious to operate in the present moment with intentionality. Or you can go back in a time machine to a past event or past hurt and stay there, even in the present moment.
Yeah.
Or you could go into the future, possibilities of things going wrong, and not be in control of the present moment at all. But I think the key in the art is to take control of that time machine to be in the present moment with objectives.
Sure.
Is that a correct analogy?
I think that's a correct analogy, and I think that's a correct pathway. But the power that we have is only in the now. Power is in now.
So if we hope for the future to be different, the only place we have to stand is now. Because first of all, it's the future of all the moments that have come before. So if you want to be in the future, here you are. Because what it invites is a kind of shift in perception and a shift in awareness, a shift in consciousness that allows us to actually live our lives as if they really mattered in the only moment we ever have. And part of that means being embodied. Because a lot of the time, we are lost in thought.
John Kabat-Zinn, a renowned mindfulness expert, scientist, and author, widely recognized for introducing mindfulness into mainstream medicine and society.
Now, there's certain times whereby we use a technique to send clients back. And the only reason that I would take a client backwards is to heal themselves. So let me give you an example. There was an incident where a client of mine had difficulties. They had a father wound, and we had to take them all the way back to the childhood, a time where they felt the most abandoned. We had to journey back to rectify a few things so that they can catapult them to the future, to self-healing. That's where going back makes sense. But remember, that's visitation. I'm helping you to visit that self. Let's talk to that self to bring the self forward. It's not habitation. Habitation is taking you back. You taking up residence to live there, and then you perpetuate that pain over and over and over. True healing is about interrupting that, moving from habitation to visitation. Let's go visit that place of hurt, move you forward so that you can then heal, so that you then can be the person that you want to be. So there's times where going back makes sense. There's times we're looking forward. There's a new therapy emerging called imagination therapy. It's putting people in places to imagine a place where they want to live, imagine the things that they want to do to help catapult them and move them forward. And so there's ideas where it's appropriate to move, to think about the future, and there's constructs where it's appropriate to go to the past, but the true power is in now. All you have is what you have right in front of you now. And what's important is that if I'm in this conversation, I'm not back where I was in 1924. I'm not in the future. I'm right here with you in the studio having a conversation. I'm feeling everything. Everything that's happening to me is what's happening right now with me. And that's where my power is right now.
It's one of the most difficult things in the world, if not the most difficult thing in the world for us human beings to do, is to be present in our own lives and to be kind and less judgmental of ourselves. That's why it's worth doing. It's worth practicing. But it's not a doing, really. When all is said and done, it's a way of being, and actually a way of being awake in yourself. And the present moment, which is the only moment we're ever actually alive in, tends to get obliterated, really squeezed to the point where we're not in the present moment anymore. We're always in the past, always in the future. And that's a prescription for unhappiness. Happiness isn't some of the time when, at the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's right now, in the midst of whatever is happening. And this is an art form, so it does take some time, it does involve some discipline, but I would throw out, well, what else is there to do? Because if you're missing your entire life, whatever moment you decide it's time to reconnect with your life, that moment, guess when that will be? It will be now. Again, you look at your watch, oh my God, it's now, again. So we only have moments in the now, why not make the most use of them? Yeah.
If I go into the past, I have baggage from the past. That's weight that I'm just holding on to. In the present moment, I can choose to just drop all that weight so I can function and operate in the present moment.
Well, unfortunately, you just don't drop off all that weight, right? Because it took time to secure that weight, right? It's the unfolding process is a process in itself, right? So when you think about how one unmask or unload what has happened to them, that is what we call pathologies. When we think about pathologies, I can't help you move forward until I understand your prior pathology.
Your patterns.
Your patterns. A set of things that happened to you, a set of things that you continue to do that you're in your own way. We gotta unpack that. But in order for me to understand your pathology, I have to understand what happened to you.
Okay. In the past, I remember I was riding to the barbershop. On Lincoln Drive, I had a panic attack.
Have you ever had a panic attack? Most people don't even realize this, but there are a list of symptoms that compose a panic attack. Here they are. Number 1, palpitations, pounding heart or accelerated heart rate. Number 2, sweating. Number 3, shaking or trembling. Number 4, sensations of shortness of breath or like you're being smothered. Number 5, feelings of choking. Number 6, chest pain or discomfort. Number 7, nausea or abdominal distress. Number 8, feeling dizzy, unsteady, lightheaded. Number 9, chills or heat sensations. Number 10, numbness or tingling sensations. Number 11, derealization or depersonalization. That's where you feel like you're in a dream world or something, or you feel like you're not even yourself. Number 12, fear of losing control or going crazy. And number 13, fear of dying, even though nobody's actually ever died of a panic attack. So if you ever experience an abrupt surge of anxiety and it reaches a peak within minutes, and you have 4 of those symptoms that I just named, that's what we call a panic attack.
At that time, I was so focused on external factors giving me peace. The president was elected. It wasn't the president that I wanted. There was a Black Lives Matter movement going on. I couldn't operate the same capacity that I was. And I was pouring all this energy into trying to help other people. But I wasn't pouring into myself. I remember showing up that day. I showing up that day, and we were back here in this very room, and you heard me breathing. You said, "Are you breathing or are you yawning?" And I told you, "I am breathing." You said, "Your body's finally breaking down." And I told you what's going to happen. Now, you gave me a lot of great techniques on how I can help heal myself, right? But I remember when I canceled my appointments the rest of the night and I went home. Before going home, I looked at you, and Dr. Parham is physically fit and extremely intelligent. I looked at him and said, upon my recovery, I want to be as physically fit as Dr. Parham and mentally intelligent like Dr. Parham. That was the imagination. I programmed my subconscious to operate in the moment of just pouring into my own intellect at that time. Here and now, I am exactly where I wanted to be.
Let's go back to, and this is a really good pivotal intersection where we're at, which I think is a beautiful moment right now. One of the things in our prior episodes, I always say that words are things. The power in words. Words are things. You didn't break down, you broke through. It wasn't a breakdown, that was a breakthrough. When that happened, that was a breakthrough. That was your true self screaming to emerge. And that was you finally surrendering to allow him to come out. You broke through. And so when I think about your transformation and who you are today, it's because your lower self was in the driver's seat. And when that breakthrough happened, you, partner, You partner with the breakthrough and surrendering to allow him, i.e. Paul, to become who Paul was actually created to be. And that's where your peace is and who you're created to be. So the breakthrough was giving you some instructions, because I keep hearing, I like to use language like you partner with your emerging. You weren't responsible for it. Let's think about it. When we all come into the earth, we don't come into the earth as half people. We come in wholeness. And experiences begin to chip at us and demote us and put trauma on us and digs at our infrastructure. And sometimes those pieces are discombobulated and scattered throughout the earth. And the journey of healing is finding those pieces so that you become whole. And that's what a breakthrough is actually saying, I want to get back to being whole. And that's what you did. And that's who I'm looking at right now. Someone who is just like a powerhouse. I mean, just to watch you go through your metamorphosis from the Paul who made that phone call up into who you are right now is a fantastic example of what a breakthrough looks like. And now that you're broken through, now you can allow all that you're created to be to shine and thrive. And that's what it's about.
I appreciate that and I receive that.
This leads to groundedness in being. Abiding as awareness provides an unshakable groundedness in our true nature, even amidst the chaos and uncertainty of life. A deep existential peace and wholeness is found. So, the non-dual approach involves a shift from having experience to being the awareness in which experiences arise, are known, and subside, just like the breath, just like any other sensation in the body. Thoughts, feelings, they all arise and subside. The awareness remains. Only the awareness is the non-changing factor in every experience. While the relative reality of thoughts, feelings, and perception continues, we disidentify from them and know ourselves to be the transcendent, aware presence. This is a radically liberating insight that uproots suffering at its core. By stabilizing this recognition and integrating it into a daily life is a subtle art that requires devoted practice and contemplation.
Deepak Chopra, author, physician, and spiritual teacher known for blending Eastern philosophy with Western medicine to promote holistic health, mindfulness, and personal transformation. These episodes, if no one likes them, I appreciate them because they help me pour into my own intellect. If no one listens to it, I'm the greatest fan of the work that I produce here.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Right?
Because, just sidebar, that's a fantastic example of not searching within, searching externally, but digging internally for validation. And I feel like that's when things begin to happen to you, when you see it first, when you appreciate it first, when you love it first, when it feeds you first, then you begin to give to people from your overflow and not from your emergency fund. So I like a life well lived is to give people the overflow. Think of a mug that if I fill the mug up with hot tea to the brim, I actually want people to drink from what's flowing over the mug so that I remain full. You're just getting my overflow. Versus oftentimes we operate of giving people little droplets. There is no emergency fund. I'll give you this and then you're empty and then you're not of any service to yourself and to the people who love you. So thrive on, Paul.
So one of my practices, every now and then I stop and ask myself, am I at peace? And if not, why? Am I aware? If not, why? Am I present? If not, why? And just asking that question brings me to that domain of awareness which is independent of everything.
You asked me a question. You said, what do you want people to say about you when you pass? I'm not necessarily interested in what people will say about me when I pass. I would like my soul to look at the highlight reel of my form and be in awe by the fact that it'll never experience this form again. But this form was an unbelievable experience and an unbelievable example of how we can be the best versions of ourselves in this form. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to do.
I think that's well said. And what I was so impressed about is that most people who answer that question start listing, I want them to think I was this, and I want them to think it was that. But what was so impressive about your response, you went within. And what I heard you say, above all of what you articulated, was simply, it was more about me understanding that I lived a life well lived. I want to make sure that I got it first. And that's powerful. That's powerful, because most people look for external validation. You know, Paul did this, he opened, he launched one of the best barbers. Like, all of those are outside of me. What I was hearing you say, it was like it was important. It was more so about you than what those persons would say. I think that was impressive.
This is incredibly important in education at all levels, because as they say about orchestras, even the greatest of orchestras, with the greatest musicians, with the greatest instruments, playing the greatest music, before they perform, they get together and they tune their instruments. First to themselves, then with each other, until there's a kind of dropping, if you don't mind me put it that way, into kind of resonance, call it an A, or call it what you like, but a kind of interconnected feeling that we are in some space together. You could call it relationality. And so mindfulness is the awareness that arises by paying attention on purpose in the present moment.
I think I want the flesh to honor the spirit, and the spirit recognize it when there's no more flesh. Like during my time you were here, you honored me. You really tried your best to seek the essence of your spirit realm, or who you are on the spiritual level. You honored it, or you tried, even though it's not easy to do so. It's not easy to do that. It takes practice to always try to seek out who you are on a spiritual level in your day-to-day interactions with people. You already say, while cutting your hair, you mentioned that we really aren't in control of anything, but to surrender to it is to honor the spirit, because even while talking to you, we're suspended in the bubble in space, and everything is moving around us in the universe. We aren't in control of anything.
Right. And how scary is that, to have someone in the driver's seat who only sees in part? That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, to even halfway believe that I'm in control is scary. And what I mean by that is, I would like to have someone in the driver's seat who sees in its totality. I don't want someone in the driver's seat who only sees what they can see. So I'm saying, for me, being in the driver's seat, I only see what I can see in front of you. I can't see what's around the corner. So I would prefer to surrender to something higher than me to lead the way, because something higher in me sees me in its whole totality. I only see in part. I only can see what I can see in front of me. I can see what happened behind me. I don't necessarily know what's ahead of me. So when you're operating in surrender, you allow the higher self, the higher spirit, to take control.
This leads to a startling conclusion. The awareness of anger is not angry. The awareness of jealousy is not jealous. The awareness of fear is not fearful. The awareness of the fear of death is not fearful of death. And this is ultimate freedom.
We're talking lifestyle. Paul, this is something that throughout our podcast that we talk about. If you're looking for something in a bottle that you can just drink to cure it away, this is not the podcast for you. If you're looking for a lifestyle change, this is the podcast for you. And what I mean by that is, or I should say, this is the podcast session for you, because I'm not going to give you something that you do one time to fix. You have to become one with the process and the lifestyle of it. And it starts first with meditation. And meditation can just be 5 minutes a day. How many people do you know actually sit with themselves? Meaning, and we talked about this, and I love this analogy, so I'm getting revved up here. When we talked about the cleaners, when we were in the cleaners, and you know, you go to a cleaners and there's clothes hanging on a line, and I use that example of clothing being thoughts. Starting meditation is similar to that. It's actually sitting in a place where your thoughts, you don't become one to every thought that you have. You see the thoughts in your mind move around. So for example, if I'm sitting still with my eyes closed, I sometimes can see the thing that I feel anxiety from. And instead of that anxiety becoming me, I'm actually watching the thing and anxiety take place, swirling around me. And that very moment, I can decide to employ the anxiety, or I can let it pass through. Meditation is that idea of sitting with yourself and looking at both the good and the hard things, and deciding to actually lean into it, not employ it. Let me lean in to actually feel what's happening with me and watch it pass through. And 5 minutes turns into 10 minutes, into 20 minutes, and before you know it, you get to a place where I call sound peace, where the thoughts now are under you. You see them swarming, but it doesn't become you. So it's not silence of thoughts. Meditation gives you the discipline to see thoughts separate from who you are as a being. And that's a practice, that's a lifestyle, and that's what we're talking about.
Okay. I remember my first meditation experience, and the question you asked, how many people do I know who meditate? Out of all the people I know a lot of people. I only know 3 people who actually meditate. But my first meditation experience, I closed my eyes, I listened to my own heartbeat, I took deep breaths, I listened to the noises outside, I listened to my breathing again, I listened for my heartbeat again, and I didn't try to label any of the sounds I was hearing, but recognizing that my hearing was just another subconscious function similar to my heartbeat. And I asked myself a question: who am I? The thoughts that were separate, my thought was, I'm a man. Thoughts that were separate, no, that's the form you're in. It's not who you are. I'm an American. That's where you are. That is not who you are. Ascending. I'm an earthling. No, that's where you are. That's not who you are. And I kept peeling apart these layers of my physical form to understand who I truly was. And the answer that I got to at the end of peeling apart all the layers was that on the spiritual level, I am the bringer of wisdom. On the ego level, I'm Paul Brown. And that was one of the jewels of my first meditation experience.
That's powerful. Yeah. I think what's powerful about that is you describe escalation. You describe how you were escalating, and it shows how, again, it's a process. It's not going to happen on the first try. You begin to do it as a practice. So that's why we say, what's your spiritual practice? Most people hear that question as religion. We're not talking religion here. It's not about denomination. It's not about how you engage a religious construct. What we're talking about is the idea of partnering with something that's higher than you, so that you can really hear how you're supposed to operate and who you're supposed to be. And so that practice in itself, like you just unfold for yourself, is like you're participating, you're partnering with the emerging of yourself. That's what I said earlier. You're partnering. You're not owning it. You're partnering with something higher than yourself to become more fulfilled.
In other words, the divine is no longer difficult to find. The divine is impossible to avoid. Now, in this state of consciousness, there is extreme joy, even ecstasy, and exaltation of spirit. So everything that was before, including meaningful coincidences, synchronicity, creativity, insight, intuition, imagination, inspiration, choice, truth, goodness, beauty, harmony, love, that all expands. But because spirit is in communion with spirit everywhere, then our consciousness, if you want to call it that, is in communion with consciousness everywhere. This leads to communion and the realm of miracles, because now consciousness is interacting with consciousness in all the objects of experience, not just the subject of experience.
And look, y'all, it is always personal Philadelphia. My guy, Dr. Parham. This is a wrap because we can't. There's only so much information that I'm going to try to pour into you guys at one time. I know you are dealing with a lot.
Yes.
And I'm going to give you guys as much as I possibly can so we can digest this information properly. Dr. Parham, it is always a pleasure and a treat and an honor. This was a hell of a gift for me because I'm going to use this to help me reach the next level.
Happy to be here.
And I love you. You're an amazing psychologist, amazing friend.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. And you're such a joy to be around, man. And out of all the meditation books I've ever read, having a living, breathing legend in front of me in this studio, to me, is incredible. And I hope you received every bit of that.
Yeah, thank you.
Love you.
Love you too.
In this Twitter tweet, meme, mean world that we've created for our children, the least we can do is consider what we've done and think about the young people, the future, and individually, collectively do the best we can to try and turn this thing around. I blame no one. I look in the mirror. On the other side of it, what an opportunity we have, because tomorrow's the first day of the rest of our lives. So what an opportunity we have to practice what he preached.
It's like I don't think y'all fully understand who I am, you know. I'm just a good kid from Compton that wanna rap. I don't represent no colors, I represent my little sisters and brothers. I'm the oldest nigga. And if you can't respect that, your whole perspective is whack. Check it out. I used to wanna rap like Jay-Z until I finally realized that Jay wasn't me. I took my time to jot down every line that's a quotable. Critics say I don't be killing this shit, but I know I do, because I used to practice early morning and then after school. I'm working on my hooks, my nigga, I ain't trying to battle you. But even if I did, I guarantee I overshadow you. Like a fucked up taper that turned to a bowl cut. I'm a close cut to Common and Gucci Man. Now that's a comparison that you probably wouldn't understand, because I can touch the people and still keep it ghetto as an 87 Regal with the tree air freshener on the rear view mirror. I wear a heart on my shoulder. Remember when we used to make the boots look like Motorola? Your cousin fucked up your room every time he came over. They went to jail when we got older. That shit is a bad odor, but still I remain focused. In due time, I'll be able to swipe my card and it won't say decline. That shit's embarrassing, huh? Hope no one pay you no mind, but it's a bad bitch behind you while you standing in line. Can you relate to my story? Can you follow my dreams and admirations that I had ever since I was 13? My mama believed in me. She let me use her fan to go to the studio, even though she know her tank is empty. That's who I do it for. My pops got a different approach. Yeah, he believed, but he always questioned when I'ma drop my debut CD. How long it's gonna take, nigga? You still haven't ate, nigga. At 22, I had 2 cars in my own place, nigga. It's a sacrifice. I try to tell him. That's when he turned to BET and tell me that he jealous of all these niggas getting money and they shit don't sound like shit. I ain't trying to kill your confidence or forcing you to quit. I just wanna hear you heard. Yep, that's my word. Make a statement with these nouns and verbs. I represent the liquor that's poured out on the curb. Listen to my nouns and verbs. Man, I wanna be heard. Like a cattle with sheep while y'all sleep, I be up cooking up all day like a mad scientist in a laboratory. Motherfuck what a critic gotta say, I'ma be heard. What up, design? I ain't forgot, nigga. You developed me telling me how it's hot, nigga. You believed in me first, that's what's for sure. At the church, recorded at the garage, but it worked. But me and Dave kinda felt you lost the passion. A lot was going on in your life and you needed space. But still I should've came to you first to tell you what happened. But I was 17 and figured it's best I stay away, and I was wrong. I was young and couldn't look you in the eye for what I done, but I'm telling you we ain't done. Matter of fact, how's your sons, what they up to? Remember they used to run around while you had worked on Pro Tools? People I used to be in the booth till 4 in the morning with school in the morning yawning, but I was on it. Me, you and Dave was on it, buzzing like Charlotte Hornets when that tape dropped. Where them beats, nigga, it's been 5 years since we had rock, time to be heard. Yep, that's my word. Make a statement with these nouns and verbs. I represent the liquor that's poured out on the curb. Listen to my nouns and verbs. Man, I wanna be heard. Like a cattle with sheep while y'all sleep, I be up, cooking up all day. Like a mad scientist in a laboratory. Motherfuck what a critic gotta say. So can you feel it? When you hear it, do it pulsate your spirit. Do it make you wanna say, motherfucker gimmick. The truth can set you free if you do the right thing. Word to Spike Lee, don't he look like Soundwave? That's kinda random, but my humor sometimes strays. Like a dog in the night, 24 hours in a day, but only take 5 minutes to grab a pad and a pen and send your dog a kite. I spread love like a hippie, but I'm a black one with Jesus Christ passion. I swear on the Bible, tabernacle to all my rivals. I ain't mad, you hate a nigga for trying to help you, that's your bad. Because I figure I can make a way with these stanzas. I probably can't heal cancer, but I can heal the city. My niggas tell me you with me, and if you is, won't you pop my CD in? Open up your trunk, then let it bump, so I can be heard. Yep, that's my word. Yeah. Make a statement with these nouns and verbs. I represent the liquor that's poured out on the curb. Listen to my nouns and verbs. Man, I wanna be heard. Like a cattle with sheep while y'all sleep, I be up, cooking up all day. Like a mad scientist in a laboratory. Motherfuck what a critic gotta say. I'ma be heard. D-Dave, what up, nigga? Matt Jeezy. Like I don't think y'all fully understand who I am, you know. I'm just a good kid from Compton that wanna rap. I don't represent no colors, I represent my little sisters and brothers. I'm the oldest nigga. And if you can't respect that, your whole perspective is whack. Check it out, I used to wanna rap like Jay-Z, until I finally realized that Jay wasn't me. I took my time to jot down every line that's a quotable. Critics say I don't be killing this shit, but I know I do, because I used to practice early morning and then after school. I'm working on my hooks, my nigga, I ain't trying to battle you. But even if I did, I guarantee I overshadow you. Like a fucked up taper that turned to a bowl cut. I'm a close cut to Common and Gucci Man. Now that's a comparison that you probably wouldn't understand, because I can touch the people and still keep it ghetto as an 87 Regal with the tree air freshener on the rear view mirror. I wear a heart on my shoulder. Remember when we used to make the boots look like Motorola? Your cousin fucked up your room every time he came over. Then went to jail when we got older. That shit is a bad odor, but still I remain focused. In due time, I'll be able to swipe my card and it won't say decline. That shit's embarrassing, huh? Hope no one pay you no mind, but it's a bad bitch behind you while you standing in line. Can you relate to my story? Can you follow my dreams and admirations that I had ever since I was 13? My mama believed in me. She let me use her van to go to the studio, even though she know her tank is empty. That's who I do it for. My pops got a different approach. Yeah, he believe, but he always question when I'ma drop my debut CD. How long it's gonna take, nigga? You still haven't ate, nigga. At 22, I had 2 cars in my own place, nigga. It's a sacrifice. I try to tell him. That's when he turned to BET and tell me that he jealous of all these niggas getting money and they shit don't sound like shit. I ain't trying to kill your confidence or forcing you to quit. I just wanna hear you heard. Yep, that's my word. Make a statement with these nouns and verbs. I represent the liquor that's poured out on the curb. Listen to my nouns and verbs. Man, I wanna be heard. Like a cattle with sheep while y'all sleep, I be up, cooking up all day. Like a mad scientist in a laboratory. Motherfuck what a critic gotta say. I'ma be heard. What up, design? I ain't forgot, nigga. You developed me telling me how it's hot, nigga. You believed in me first, that's what's for sure. At the church, recorded at the garage, but it worked. But me and Dave kinda felt you lost the passion. A lot was going on in your life and you needed space. But still I should've came to you first to tell you what happened. But I was 17 and figured it's best I stay away, and I was wrong. I was young and couldn't look you in the eye for what I done, but I'm telling you we ain't done. Matter of fact, how's your sons? What they up to? Remember they used to run around while you had worked on Pro Tools? People I used to be in the booth till 4 in the morning with school in the morning yawning, but I was on it. Me, you, and Dave was on it, buzzing like Charlotte Hornets when that tape dropped. Where them beats, nigga? It's been 5 years since we had rock. Time to be heard. Yep, that's my word. Make a statement with these nouns and verbs. I represent the liquor that's poured out on the curb. Listen to my nouns and verbs. Man, I wanna be heard. Like a cattle with sheep while y'all sleep. I be up, cooking up all day. Like a mad scientist in a laboratory. Motherfuck what a critic gotta say. So can you feel it? When you hear it, do it pulsate your spirit. Do it make you wanna say, motherfucker gimmick. The truth can set you free if you do the right thing. Word to Spike Lee, don't he look like Soundwave? That's kinda random, but my humor sometimes strays. Like a dog in the night, 24 hours in a day, but only take 5 minutes to grab a pad and a pen, then send your dog a kite. I spread love like a hippie, but I'm a black one with Jesus Christ passion. I swear on the Bible, tabernacle to all my rivals. I ain't mad, you hate a nigga for trying to help you, that's your bad. Because I figure I can make a way with these stanzas. I probably can't heal cancer, but I can heal the city. My niggas tell me you with me, and if you is, won't you pop my CD in? Open up your trunk, then let it bump, so I can be heard. Yep, that's my word. Yeah, make a statement with these nouns and verbs. I represent the liquor that's poured out on the curb. Listen to my nouns and verbs. Man, I wanna be heard. Like a cattle with sheep while y'all sleep. I be up, cooking up all day. Like a mad scientist in a laboratory. Motherfuck what a critic gotta say. I'ma be heard. D-Dave, what up, nigga? Matt Jeezy.